Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. With me today is Troy Brittingham.
You're Jeff.
I'm Jeff, and Chris Carroll's here. What's up, bud?
You're Jeff.
And we're here to talk about Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 4, The Foundling. TB&J!
What happens?
I just did a big yawn, and I tried to do it softly off mic, and then Troy looked at me.
I thought you
laughed.
fucking stubbed your toe or something. That looked like you were in so much pain.
It was yawning.
Anyway,
I'm sleepy. I woke up early.
so what about the
Oh
Mandalorian?
no,
Mando
Jeffrey.
episode 4. Okay, episode 3. Troy, how many episodes are in this season?
I believe it's 8.
It's 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to do letter grades after 4 then?
Sounds good to me.
Then we'll do
This-
half and half.
This is 4 right now, so
This is 4.
yeah.
All right, cool. So, we're going to do thumbs up, thumbs down, and we'll do letter grades at the end. So, Chris, since you're the furthest away geographically, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm also the furthest away emotionally. Thumbs up.
Very emotionally distant from all of those who call Chris a dear friend. Troy.
Thumbs. I'm gonna say thumbs down.
Perfect, because if you said up, I was going to say down.
Okay.
I'm squarely in the middle. I guess I'm up then.
Okay.
So let's.
Make me the bad guy.
We always try to start off each episode with like the things we enjoyed about it, right? So I'll start with you, Chris. What did you enjoy about this episode? What were your favorite bits?
I am a fucking sucker for world building. And so learning more about Mandalorian culture and seeing them shoot at things and train, fucking awesome.
Yeah,
The little
no,
fight
that's definitely
scene
cool.
between Grogu and the Foundling is badass.
They do seem
He
like
does
the
he does a front flip. He does a
Oh.
back flip. He fucking shoots the kid 3 times in the chest. It's great.
There's a line here, right? And I don't know if they're doing it very well. And this kind of leads into one of the things I hated about it. But like, it feels like Grogu is becoming like almost a Flanderized version of what he started out as. Cause like him doing the flips.
I have a
and-
take about this, but I'm gonna wait for.
It's like-
it's not even negative.
You know what?
I have a take.
It's
about
like comical, right? Like
Jeff,
it's
Jeff, I will agree with you 100%. I think the thing that fixes it is if they actually made him grow.
and that's
Like,
the thing.
If he was not if he could like get like a couple more inches, maybe bulk up a bit, hit the gym.
This
he
was
started eating his creatine and chicken breast.
this was my take. I was gonna save it for a little bit later, but I guess I'll say it now.
Fuck
It does feel like they could benefit or could have benefit from a little bit of like a time skip. And people were saying a time skip after 2, and I wasn't really on board. And now that we're sort of in a phase of we're not always defending Grogu, and we're not always like he's not always like kind of the not damsel in distress, but like he's not the objective anymore. And they're trying to push him more into like this Ahsoka Ezra like young training character. It is sort of awkward now where he's just a puppet baby, and
Yeah, right?
and we need. I think I could take all of this a lot more seriously. I'll actually segue this perfectly into my positives. I thought that the best scene of the episode is, and it is Order 66 again, but like
Order 66, starring Jar Jar Binks.
starring Ahmad Best the best.
Yeah. And he makes the most dramatic appearance and then immediately has the 2 lightsaber thing going on.
And this is the coolest Jar Jar's ever been. And he's not even Jar Jar.
No,
I
he's
forget,
not.
I forget who this character is because he does have a name. Ahmad Best does play like a background Jedi in one of them. In true George Lucas fashion, they gave him a name, even though he like is walking the halls for 2 seconds. But he is like a character that wasn't made for this. But I thought that all the Order 66 stuff worked. I think that like there's even a part of it where it's like, yeah, Grogu was like part of an order. it fell apart. He's has trauma from it. They hint that he like doesn't speak because of it. Like his growth was stunted in like season 2. They said.
I think I remember something like that when Ahsoka was talking.
Yeah,
with him.
and I thought that they were gonna. I thought that, or they could still be leaning into it of like they're going to maybe kind of pseudo time jump and give him a bit of like maybe he starts speaking soon through this of like he's trying to get through his trauma a little bit, but like if
maybe by the end of this season we get his first words, possibly
maybe.
even more.
Yeah, something like that. But like if he was a little bit bigger and had a little bit more emotive of a face, I really think I could have felt something with this whole thing of like, oh yeah, no, he's like struggling with like, I knew what they were doing is like, okay, he's joining like a new sort of like group clan of people. He lost all the previous ones. Like there's like an emotional layer there. It just is jarring when I'm like, I'm trying to read some emotion off this baby face. And it's not
Listen,
really.
Those eyes can only carry so much weight, and they're not doing it anymore.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, exactly it. And like, you could see it in the beginning when he's sitting on the beach playing with the fucking hermit crabs. That CGI looked fucking terrible. I could like see how bad it looked. And I don't know if that's necessarily a Mandalorian exclusive thing or if it's like a Disney thing or I don't know. But like it looks like a two-dimensional image of the hermit crab shell being picked up by him. And I was like, "Oh, come on, guys. You have the budget. You can do better."
And I am the biggest advocate for Star Wars puppets. I think put more puppets everywhere. Make it into the fucking Muppets but in space.
There should be an entire race of creatures that are just Muppets.
Yeah, like like classic like Jim Henson like obvious puppets.
I think the prequels left.
You never see him from the waist down.
Yeah, I think the prequels left a very sour taste in a lot of people's mouths for CGI, and now everyone's like, no more CGI in Star Wars. But like, I would prefer some more CGI in aliens.
Puppets are charming. Puppets are great. Like,
but there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, when he's flipping through the air, it's like, yeah, it could have been a lot. It might be time to maybe raise the puppet into the rafters.
The Yoda Dooku fight that happened literally like 20 years ago looked better than that.
Yeah, I hate that fight, but I can't.
And that's kind of the vibe they were going for. They got the little green guy flipping around over the bigger guy. Like it seemed like that was what they wanted. So, I mean, if you stop this weird love obsession with the puppets, and not you specifically, Troy Siff, but like,
yeah,
in general.
No, and I do have a big love for the puppets. I just think that they should be used at certain points.
Sure, like the Mon Calamari, they can stay puppets.
Sure,
that's fine. They got their fish heads, great, awesome. But like, now you've got
more prosthetics, but yeah,
sure,
but the same thing.
But now you've got this little guy that is a main character of the show. You kind of need him to do more than just awkwardly waddle and half blink.
Yeah, because that's the sort of the Star Wars formula, I feel like, for TV shows at least now, of like you have this like either annoying or defenseless kind of like kid with you, and then slowly they become the main character of the series of Ahsoka, Ezra, Omega in Bad Batch. Is there another one that I can't think of? They don't really do it in Resistance.
The lone wolf and cub thing, and it's kind of almost been done to death at this point. But like, it works. So why fuck with it?
It's not a horrible trope. It's just they did it like 3 times in a row.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal himself has done it twice.
Yeah. But before we get
and that's why the internet calls him Daddy.
That's not why.
But
I mean, there's multiple reasons why they can call him Daddy.
Before we get too off in the weeds, Jeff, what are your positives?
I like the arc that Bo-Katan is going through. It seems like she's really embracing the Mandalorian culture. And
she's currently my favorite character of this season.
Yeah, Bo-Katan has turned out to be like a great character, and I think that might be what Mandalorian turns into, is like the Western or space Western version of Mad Max, where he himself is just a vehicle to tell stories about other people around him.
I mean, he sort of kind of was before, but like it was still like this lone wolf and cub, like he had to transport something, but it was mostly like I have to transport this, and then he had side adventures with everybody else along the way, and it was more about like, okay, well now we're gonna meet this band of characters run by like Bill Burr. And like
I forgot Bill Burr is in Star Wars.
Bill Burr's in Star Wars, and maybe the best character in this show, but not in this season yet.
I'm sorry, Carl Weathers.
No, Carl Weathers is also good. Grief Karga, I like. There's a lot of
He
characters I
directed
like.
this episode, by the way.
He did. There's a lot of characters I like in Mando.
Yeah, don't besmirch Weathers' name.
They're close. They're neck and neck.
Plus, what's her name? Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka.
Sure.
She fucking stole the show back in season 2.
I think I am still in the mindset. I'm not, huffing and puffing, kicking my feet, saying not my Ahsoka. But I feel like I'm just like, it's my least favorite Ahsoka so far.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but you better start liking her.
No,
because...
I don't dislike her at all. But it's just like, when you have 20 years almost of not that many, but if it's like 15 almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's close because the Clone Wars animated stuff came out before episode 3.
It was like 2000. No, dude, that was after.
Was it?
There's a different Clone Wars that's before that. That's
the 2D one.
Yeah, Samurai Jack guy. This came after. It was like
with Asajj Ventress and shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it was like, but Clone Wars is like 2008, 10, something like that. So it's like it's closing in on 15, if not there already.
Sure.
So like,
if only we had a way of finding out exactly when it came out.
Yep, we could do research.
There's no way.
August 15th, 2008.
Gotcha.
Wow. All right. That 15 years this summer.
Yeah. So, it's 15.
God damn, boys. Are we old?
Yep.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, but Ahsoka's been around for 15 years, and she's always been animated. So it's just like, and her voice has never changed up until.
Oh, it's been the same VA for 15 years?
Yep.
Oh, that's rough.
In Rebels, and even she came back for Tales of the Jedi too. So it's like. There's like this Ahsoka that I have in my mind, and then like Rosario Dawson's doing a great job, but also it's like she's got a big uphill battle. You don't have any of that baggage coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still think she's doing great. And I can't wait for the Ahsoka show.
In my head, I was trying to equate it to something like Mark Hamill's Joker being replaced by somebody else, but like it's so much different in comic books because you can just say nope, different universe. But this is actively trying to say it's the same universe, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, that is a much more difficult.
And also there's 900 like live action Jokers, so it's hard to even.
Don't.
Some of them are good though. You got your Jack Nicholsons,
and your Jared Leto's.
Your Jared Leto's, I guess.
that is certainly a Joker.
That is a Joker.
I was trying to remember Jared Leto's name.
That is one of the Jokers of all time.
So I was telling somebody at work who had no idea what 30 Seconds to Mars was. It's Jared Leto's band, and I was trying to say like, oh, you might know the lead singer. He's that actor I hate. What's his fucking name? And they were like, wait, what? And I was like, oh yeah, right. You have no idea what that means.
You said you don't know the pinnacle of
and I was like,
media, Morbius.
I was like, Morbius, and they were like, what's Morbius? And I was like, you guys
you went, bless you.
Oh, sweet summer child. All right, Troy, give me some shit you hated. Let's just go. Let's go.
I think the only reason I gave this...
Because already this podcast episode is like almost longer than the episode of Mando. It was like a 20-minute episode,
I hate
right?
that it was so short.
Yeah.
It was
and then
it was
the one
in and
before,
out.
And the one before it was so goddamn long.
Yeah.
I do like the one before it, though.
I do enjoy that
It was cool to see Coruscant again, but God, could I not give a fuck less about fucking, what is his name? Perishing.
Dr. Pershing.
He definitely perished by the end of it.
Hey, I'll give you a rim shot. There you go, buddy. No, but I enjoy that so much more about streaming shows because like you don't need an episode to be 22 minutes or 58 minutes if you're doing, or I guess 47 if you're doing an hour-long program.
You don't need
you
to
can
cut
just
in the middle for commercial break anytime.
No, you can make the episode as long as it needs to be to tell the story, and then you can just end it because
and I feel like there's
freedom.
not a lot of people who have taken full advantage of that yet.
No, the best example I can think of for you specifically is Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix.
Sure.
But that's a little bit different because that's not necessarily a continuous narrative so much as just vignettes. Each one is individual and separate.
I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, but what if we go for consistency? And you're like, why? but why would you?
Why would you ever do
You don't
that?
need to, actually.
Nah. No. Just, if this story takes 20 minutes to tell, do it. If the next one takes like 4 hours to tell, do it.
God, I would hate a 4-hour Mando episode.
You gotta turn on episode 5. It's like 3 hours and 48 minutes. What the fuck? That's longer than the Batman.
Yeah, your family gets up, goes, watches John Wick, comes back, and sits down. And you're still watching this?
Did you see the fucking the runtime for the new Oppenheimer movie from Nolan is 3 hours and 1 minute?
Jesus.
That's the runtime without credits.
I just the other day watched John Wick Chapter 4, and it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
And
it's great though. It deserves it.
Yeah, I was reading an article that apparently like a lot of movie studios are like, oh, long form movies are in. People want to watch a 3-hour movie. Let's make more 3-hour movies.
No. Not if they're fucking Avatar.
No.
I want those hours to be meaningful.
Yes.
John Wick. I was like, man. That could have gone on for another hour, and I was like, "It's 9:00 at night."
Yeah, right.
But then it was later than that.
Then you have movies like Avatar, where I got up to pee 3 separate times, and
because of all the water.
Maybe. And I felt like I missed nothing when I came back. They were like still in the same place, having the same conversation.
Oh, they're training how to swim. Okay.
Yeah. They were like learning how to swim, and then there was like the weird whale thing later, and I was like, oh, I missed literally nothing, and I was gone for like
Don't
2
worry,
minutes.
the kid bonded with the whale a little more.
Oh, did they? That's great.
Yeah, there's a 4th scene of that, but he's now their best friends.
Oh, I see. Great. Awesome.
They invented a secret handshake.
Give me Finn. Back to Mandalorian. What did you hate, Troy? I forget. We got off on so many tangents.
So what I
this is what happens when you're not here to rail us in, D.
So
rail?
I'd say we've been
No.
pretty on
Real.
topic.
Don't rail us, D. Reel us in. Jesus Christ.
No.
Keep
talking
can
about
rail
how
whatever you want.
keep talking about how we're not reeled in, and don't let me reel it back in. No, but
God, D can get it. Anyway, back to the show.
So no, but things I didn't like. I think the only reason I gave it a thumbs down is I feel like they had a lot of stuff in this episode that they kind of, and it might be because of the runtime, they kind of don't go that far into. When they were all in the gauntlet and like getting ready to go and get the kid gets kidnapped by a big
I think I know where you're going with
dragon
this, and I'm on the same page.
I really thought that this was going to be like more of like we're going to learn more about Paz Vizsla, this dude who's like been around. He's like the coolest dude in like like armor wise.
And you
like,
get he's my son. Oh.
Gotcha. Cool. But why didn't you say that earlier?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we all know that?
Yeah, like I don't. What?
But like, yeah.
Okay,
if it was...
hold on. You guys say that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's something that maybe we all missed, but my girlfriend and I were watching this, and she immediately picked up on that was his kid, like from the fight.
Yeah. No. I kind of knew that. Like, especially like after the fight with Grogu, where they have the darts, and then Paz speaks up and he repeats the line of the creed that Mando had said just a minute ago about how you shouldn't speak unless you know. I was like, oh, it feels like he's chastising him. He's either like his direct mentor or his dad. But either way, I like this. This is a little bit of development for Paz.
I am saying more like it could have been great if it was, if you got rid of all the other like random no-name guys, and it was just Bo, Mando, and Paz, and they're all just sort of like going on a journey, and they're like talking about things back and forth, and like because Paz is very cool looking and has been around since like the first episode of the show, and we really don't know anything about him other than he's real big, he's buff, he's got a minigun, and he has a kid now.
I mean, to be fair,
he did get that cool line by the campfire where he tells Bo, "No, you're the war leader. You
have the honor."
But that's more about Bo.
That's more about Bo and Mandalorian culture. I think they might be treading lightly. I mean, my lizard brain gut instinct says that they remember Boba Fett being everybody's favorite character in the originals, and he had like 2 lines.
Sure.
He just showed up and looked cool.
Yeah. And
So,
I think Paz is cooler than Boba Fett was.
That's what Paz does. He shows up and looks cool, and he's got that.
I mean, that minigun does a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, if you'll excuse the pun. I don't know why I said it like that, like some weird radio host. But no, it's
Because you're an egotistical asshole.
Whoa, TB&J in the morning, coming at you
On the East and West Coast.
at 92.2.789 K cover.
Anyway.
Let's get back to the podcast.
Who said you could touch my soundboard?
So yeah, but my whole thought process is I feel like we could be doing a lot more in a lot of this like empty space. And in the first 2 seasons, the empty space is like a part of it, right? Of like Mando walking through the desert and it being this like Western kind of motif. And now I'm sort of like, but what if we were doing something? What if we were forwarding some plot a little bit along the way? I feel like they're wasting a lot of time in between with like long sweeping shots now, and I'm like, I think we can get on with it a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat. Chris, did you have something to add? I didn't mean to cut you off.
At this point, we're out of space, Western territory, and now we're getting more back into the science fantasy. So we should, we should have things. Things should happen.
And as far as the trailers are showing, like they're gonna go to Mandalore at one point again, probably, or at least they're all jumping out of gauntlets in the trailer.
Oh, it's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah,
because Bo is now obsessed with that mythosaur that she saw in the waters under Mandalore.
Right, they're gonna go. That's gonna play into it. He still has the dark saber.
Yeah,
we still need to find out who sent the Imperial remnants after Bo.
Yep.
Do you think there will be a duel between Bo-Katan and Mando to claim the Darksaber? Or do you think that... Because like, she seems to be very rooted in culture again.
Since she saw the mythosaur, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, right?
I think she's taking that as a sign, like, now is my time to try again. I will rule Mandalore.
She saw the mythosaur in the living waters, which the armorer insists was a vision, and she's just like, nah, it was there. I saw it. She put a mythosaur pauldron on her fucking shoulder after that piece of armor went missing, and she was the war leader. I guess I don't know if war leader is the right word. I don't know what they said. The war party leader?
Yeah, party leader.
Yeah,
like that.
party leader.
Band leader.
There you go.
One of them.
She's the one who invited them all to the Xbox party, and then they went into Fortnite. They dropped at Tilted Towers, and they won.
Yeah.
No,
they got a victory royale.
Tilted Towers doesn't exist anymore, you guys. It hasn't existed for like 4 seasons. Anyway,
she sat by the fire, had a chug jug.
Where's everybody dropped now?
They have a new like cyberpunk inspired mega
Let's
city.
talk about Mando.
I'm sorry. I like Fortnite. Yes, Mando. I think Bo-Katan is going to get deeply involved in all of this culture, and she's going to like become like a born again Mando, I guess.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that my theory's wrong. I still think that there's an angle that he could play of like, no, it is a creepy cult still, but like it seems like they're not going with it with this episode. And my whole thought since Bo showed up in season 2 was always, yeah, no, actually, she kind of sucks at ruling Mandalore. She keeps trying and keeps failing. And I was thinking maybe they're going to try to find somebody else, because I don't think Din will. Din's too much of like an idiot to
Din
be
doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he's like an idiot. He has a kid. He's like I have way like other things to worry about.
Speaking of Grogu, I was expecting when Grogu did all the fucking like Yoda flips that Armor would be like, Jedi, we can't have him in our company. Jedi and Mandalorians hate each other.
Listen, that the Jedi and Mandalorians hate each other is a real sort of like a thing that they keep saying, and the last like 9 times they're both on screen, they're always working together. They work together in Rebels. They work together in Clone Wars. They work together in Mandalorian.
It's strange.
It's really a nothing.
The Darksaber was created by a Mandalorian Jedi.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Super ridiculous.
At some point, we're going to learn out Mandalorian and Jedi. It's actually the same thing. All this time, we just never knew.
Yeah, Din Djarin's actually Force sensitive.
Din Djarin, you fucking uncultured swine.
What did I say?
You said Djarin. It's Djarin.
Did I say Djarin?
You did.
That's crazy.
Did you say Karen?
That's why I interrupted
I know
you to
his
stop
name.
you.
Din Karen?
Din Karen? He just has like that bob cut on top of that Mando helmet.
Dean Cain?
Dean Cain? Dean Cameron? The actor.
James Cameron?
James
Kirk
Cameron? Kirk Cameron? God's not dead, guys.
I was trying to come up with what his sister's name is.
Captain
TJ Tanner.
Kirk?
What's his
Candace Cameron.
Candace Cameron, thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
All right, we can stop the bit now.
I watched so many episodes of Full House. I saw her name before everyone.
I was very sad to learn she sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mandalorian.
Full House is great, though. You can keep watching it. Chris, what did you hate about this episode? I haven't asked you yet.
I mean, now that you mention it, yeah, I guess the kid flipping around is kind of goofy.
Everything with Grogu just seemed goofy, except for his like dramatic, traumatic flashback, and then he gets his little circle of armor that she just opens his little robe and just tucks in there with his chainmail, and I'm just like,
I was half expecting Grogu after she puts the little rondel on him to just fall face first because it's too heavy.
That would have been just too comedy slapstick. That would have been ridiculous. I would have actually checked out at that point. Maybe you said it, Troy, but I'll restate it because I feel like saying it again. It's so weird acting around a puppet and doing so much heavy lifting for it. Like just let it come to life a little bit.
Well, season 1 and 2, I think it was perfect.
Yeah, because he was confined to the egg.
Yeah, I think we are. Well, he not always though, but like he was never flipping around, and he didn't have Jedi training. And I feel like now is maybe the moment where we can kind of like we should swan song it.
But how do you do that?
Exactly.
So they've established
100%.
that Grogu's like 50-something years old, which is still like infancy in his people, which,
does
as
he have
we
a
know,
big growth spurt at 51. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
crazy.
Like, how do you do that without also dramatically aging Din Djarin and company to the point where they're old and crippled and useless? Like, it's a catch-22. You've established that his species ages really, really old. We know that Yoda didn't die until he was 900. Like, how do you reconcile this little puppet into something a little more malleable and usable without just completely obliterating the canon that's already been set up? I don't think you can without.
Here's how I think they could do it. One, he's not human, so we don't know the specifics of how they age. For all we know, maybe his race ages as they grow in the Force, and all he needs to do is get over his trauma, dip into some living water, and comes out as a full-sized man.
The Mortal Kombat Deception Shunjiko.
He comes out as the Giga Chad meme with like the unbuckled jeans, but he's just green with the ears.
Without laughing.
Yeah. he goes in as the water, and then it's like a hot girl slow-mo video coming out the pool. He just slowly steps up the steps, and he's just complete Giga Chad. Like
hey, Dad.
Huge abs and a six-pack.
Hey, Dad, let's go get back Mandalore.
Even worse, he comes out of the living waters in like a full business suit and tie with a suitcase.
Hey, Dad, when I was in there, I got real into crypto.
He comes out crying. What's wrong? What's wrong, adult Grogu? he goes, all my apes gone. They took all my apes. My NFTs.
The Empire, they stole my NFTs.
We gotta go get them back from the Empire. Moff Gideon has my NFTs.
I need oxygen.
Oh shit! I'm gonna shit myself.
I was thinking, what if it's like a real gross scene? What if he like molts? What if he like sheds out of Baby Yoda just like splits apart gruesomely? Adult Grogu crawls out of him. You don't think that's gonna happen?
Not unless John Carpenter directs an episode. No, I don't think that's gonna happen.
David Lynch to do
John
one.
Carpenter in for an episode, please.
Mando
Guys,
goes from a feel-good family TV show to
I need oxygen. I need to breathe.
Star Wars Cronenberg edition.
Speaking of Cronenberg's, this is way off track. I'm gonna end it here.
At least it's still about Mandalorian.
I'll save this for the end.
Lightheaded.
It is tangentially related to TV news. I'll save this to
Should
the
we
end.
do letter grade then?
Letter grade. All right. So we're grading the first half of season 3 of Mandalorian so far. Troy, I'll go with you to give Chris some time to recuperate.
Thank you.
So I didn't like. I did like 1. I didn't like 2. 3 brought me back a lot. 4 has problems. Every single episode has problems. It isn't as strong. I'm gonna say I'm sitting at like a C.
Okay. Chris, how you feeling about it?
I liked 1. I liked 2. God, I fucking hated 3. I liked 4. I'll give it an A-, maybe a
Wow.
B+. You know what? I'll go B+.
Room to improve.
Okay. Wow. We all have very different opinions.
Very, very different. Opinions.
1 I did not like. 2 was mid. 3 was good. I enjoyed that weird.
So it's getting better for you. Is what you're
3 was that weird spy thriller bit, and that brought me back. I enjoyed that whole One Flew Over the Mando's Nest bit at the end there. But then 4, I'm like, this is pretty good. It's not great, but it's okay. But it did raise a lot of problems I have with the show, mostly around Grogu. I'm going to give it a C.
Okay.
So we're sitting at like a high C, a low B for a podcast right now. I think it could get better.
No, I think from what I've
got
been
hope.
seeing, from what I've been seeing,
For
I
the
think
record,
it is slowly
I'm
getting
just dumb and easy to please with colorful lights and sounds, so my opinion really shouldn't matter.
Chris, here's,
Ooga to the booga.
Chris,
am I right?
Here's my biggest fucking problem with all of Star Wars is I am
thought
also
you were going to say with me.
Yeah, with you.
I'm just gonna say this.
Let me air my
Fuck
Chris
you,
grievances.
Chris.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna highlight real quick. That's the end of the real podcast. Troy, go on.
So, my biggest problem with Star Wars in general is I'm pretty easy to please too, and I also love Star Wars. And like I'll be watching Boba Fett, which is a show that had plenty of problems, and we all gave very positive reviews on, and nobody else did.
Like a bantha.
Like a bantha. and I was just like, no, this is fun. It's Star Wars, like the Vespacine's ridiculous, but like it's still, like I'm feeling it, whatever. And Star Wars specifically, Star Wars and Marvel are like the two things where I feel like if I turn around and go, yeah, I liked this movie or I liked this show, I feel like there's people who turn to me and you're just like, oh, so you're like an idiot. And I feel like Star Wars is slowly turning into that. And I'm like, no, it's fun. It's not, great TV, but it's fine.
Well, Troy, have you perhaps tried this? How about you be an idiot?
That's true. I could start becoming an idiot.
Just embrace the stupidity.
I wouldn't have to go that far. To be honest.
Troy,
Okay.
Do you want to start a new podcast? We're just two idiots.
Just the idiots.
Just the idiots. I'll get you that picture of Gordon Ramsay with the 2 pieces of bread on the chef, calling her an idiot sandwich, and you guys can be the Idiot Sandwich Podcast. All right.
Troy and I can be the idiots, and you and D can be the bread.
There we go. I will say the podcast is effectively over. We just haven't played the ending song yet. One last piece of information. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was kind of flew under the radar, honestly, for me. The charges against Justin Roiland were dropped.
Yeah, I heard that.
I still think he's weird human
creep?
at best.
Yeah.
And borderline groomer criminal at worst.
Yeah, well, they were dropped. They didn't say that he was innocent, which I don't want to... And I don't want to propagate, because if anything, if he is like fully like, not a piece of shit, then I don't want to like completely lean into that.
No. He's a piece of shit.
Sure, okay.
Did you see his DMs?
I did see those. No, you're
with all the
actually,
14 and 15-year-old girls?
You are actually correct. You are
He's
actually
a piece
correct.
of shit.
I almost forgot about that.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's a very weird sort of situation, and it is going to get turned around into a thing of people being like, no, he's great, put him back in, we want him back.
The good news is that his video game company, Squanch Games, effectively kicked him out as soon as the allegations
Rick and
came out.
Morty pretty much did too.
Rick and Morty also kicked him out of the show officially, which according to like unofficial inside sources, like he hasn't actually been a part of the show since season 3.
Yeah.
Aside from just VA.
Well, that seems like the thing is, it doesn't seem like he was well liked within the circles he was in.
No, so there was another like insider scoop about him by like people that worked for him, especially at Squanch Games, where they were like he would come in with an idea that had like a nugget of gold, and then he would just tell us to run with it, and we would make everything around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would come in and do the voices, and suddenly it's like, oh, I had this idea, I gave it my voice, it's my thing. And it's like, well...
So like what I do for the podcast.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm the Dan Harmon, you're the Justin Roiland.
I actually did, this is some behind the scenes, I did suggest an idea that I thought was so
Chris,
great.
you get to be Jerry.
I suggested an
I
idea
get to
for the
ride on your coattails. Sweet.
Yeah, you do.
But I suggested an idea for this podcast that I thought was so great, up until I realized that it's the exact same thing that Jeff has been saying for months.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
but
we
what
should do a
if
video
you
game
thought of it?
podcast.
I suggested that we do what if we like did like some video game coverage, like just like a little bit, like once a month maybe, and it's like almost verbatim what you've been saying for like a year now.
Yes!
But
yes, it is!
But consider this, it sounded really good when I said it.
Oh, fuck you. Go fucking straight to hell.
As
Do not
soon-
pass go.
as
Do not
soon-
collect
No, no,
$200.
Hold on. They're right though.
As soon as you texted, I've been saying this for like a while now. I was like, yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Yes! Yes, I have! Yes, I have! We got an email about it!
Nah, it's a good idea. And I'm glad that I had it.
All right. This has been the Idiot Sandwich Podcast.
It sure has, everybody. We are part of a balanced breakfast. Enjoy responsibly. I like that tagline. Guys, is this how improv comedy happens?
Did we just rename the podcast?
Did we just end the podcast?
Yes! Forever!
Watch us drive Jeff to suicide.
I don't need a suicide. According to my watch, I don't have long left.
Can I get the rest of your collector's editions?
What do I have left? Gears 3, Batman Arkham Knight.
All I want in the will is not the podcast.
And to Troy, I bequeath specifically not the podcast.
I'd be fine with it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
It's too much responsibility for me and my idiot brain. You see, I'm leaning into it now.
Goodbye, everybody.